What wrestlers haven't achieved their claim to fame? Today we talk about our most underrated wrestlers in wrestling history. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Thank God for Wrestling podcast. I'm host one of two, Johnny King.
Host Tube 2, CJ McClure.
And let's just get into it, man. Top five of our most underrated wrestlers. CJ, the floor is yours.
Okay, so a little context for me. Again, my list is not the right list, just my opinion. But I really feel like my top three are very interchangeable. You can make some arguments for them. But number five, I got Goldust. Honest to God, one of my favorite matches ever. Probably not top 10, but one of my favorite matches ever is Goldust versus Randy Orton on Raw in 2013 when the storyline of Randy versus Daniel Bryan was going on, and then they kind of included the Rhodes family briefly, and then the Rhodes had their match of the Shield at Battleground. That match with Goldust versus Randy, I honestly liked better than the one before with Cody versus Randy when
Mhm.
his job was on the line. I really think that match goes to show how Goldust knew how to work a crowd. When Goldust hit the bulldog on Randy and they're both on the ground and Goldust is going with his arms on the ring, getting everybody to clap and get involved in the match. And again, it was a storyline too. People were invested in the storyline. They needed to see Goldust upset Randy Orton. Goldust was a veteran. Let's not sleep on his status. Now, do I think Goldust deserved a world title? No, I don't think he was that guy due to his character, but I also think he's the only one that could have done his character.
Yeah.
I feel like he got kind of that sense from his dad. I feel like he got that from Dusty in the sense of like what he was given, he took it and ran with it.
Mhm.
Dusty was given the polka dots out of punishment from Vince. Dusty took it and ran with it. He
Mhm.
made the most of it. I think Goldust deserved more title reigns with mid card titles. I think he should have won the U.S. title at some point in his career, had a respectful run with it. I think he should have won more tag titles, whether it would have been with Cody or Booker T. Goldust is underrated. I mean, he knew the character. He could be funny. He honestly could put on good matches. Goldust was low key. Dustin was low key athletic.
Mhm.
Not as athletic as Cody, but Goldust could do some moves. So number five, Goldust. Number four, Zack Ryder. Now, I'm really happy for him for what he's been doing outside of WWE with all the championships he's won and his character work. But man, you go back and look how loud people were when he beat Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship, when he upset of the decade when he won the ladder match in WrestleMania 32, the Intercontinental Championship, and they did him so dirty the night after WrestleMania when he lost to The Miz.
Mhm.
Imagine the storylines they could have done with Zack having an actual IC title reign.
Mhm.
I mean, like he wasn't even supposed to be in the match. It was supposed to be Neville, and then they put Zack in to replace, and then Bro won it. I mean, like that WrestleMania was average, probably subpar, but that opening match was awesome, and Zack winning was the cherry on top for that match, that ladder match. And he's won tag titles. He got in that program with John Cena, so you kind of saw that he could hang with the best when it came to character work. I mean, not that they face each other, but nonetheless, like they were best friends. But Zack Ryder, you want to talk about athleticism? Zack Ryder was athletic. His 450 leg drop. Who else could do that other than probably Ricochet and Rey Mysterio in his prime? I mean, highly underrated, man. Again, I don't know if I would have given him the world title. Me personally, maybe if they like made him more serious, kind of like how he is now on
Mhm.
the indies, sure. But definitely deserve more mid card reigns. Definitely deserved a longer IC title reign when he won in 2016. I mean that had Vince written all over it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
so glad he won because that was definitely Ryder's WrestleMania moment of his career, but it's watered down the day after when he lost to The Miz.
Mhm.
So this is where it got tough for me to rank, but interchangeable. Number 3, Shelton Benjamin. This man should have won a world title in his career. Did need a little bit of work with his character. Has never been that bad at cutting a promo. But man, the athleticism that this man has displayed in the Money in the Bank ladder matches, phenomenal. Like, I mean, like some people were talking about Shelton of the stuff that he did or how he put his body on the line in the matches instead of the winner. Really, I think that's what they should have done. They should have had Shelton eventually win the Money in the Bank ladder match because this man was in like what, the first 5? He was in 21, 22. I don't think he was in 23, but then 24, 25, and 26. The last Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. Was in every Money in the Bank ladder match except for one. He was like the Ricochet before Ricochet.
Nah, literally.
Was no, like put in those matches for his athleticism and would steal the show in his own right. Obviously has some title reigns under his belt, but Shelton can wrestle, man. Shelton's athletic. I mean, he came from the same graduating class as Brock and Batista and John Cena. I mean, and he's still under contract, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. He's still in the WWE.
Oh, they released him.
I forgot about that.
Yep.
Frick. Well, it's a shame. I mean, it's just a shame. More title wins for sure. I really think if they gave him a chance, he would have showed up.
Yeah.
Number 2, this will be a little controversial, but just hear me out. I'm strictly talking about WWE. Number 2, Christian. Strictly in WWE. Obviously, what he's been doing in AEW has been phenomenal. Like you said, Johnny, he's great at being horrible. But in WWE, even before he went to AEW, like Christian, with what he was allowed to do, was pretty good with some roasts. I mean, like I think he called Vicky Miss Piggy, and I remember he made fun of Jack Swagger's lisp. That was pretty funny. But again, it's like almost similar to Zack Ryder in the sense of like when Christian finally won the big one. I mean, people say, "Oh, his reign was only for 6 days." No, it was for 2 days because they taped SmackDown on Tuesdays and then aired it on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bro dropped the title to Randy Orton. I mean, and yes, he won it back, but it was by kicking Randy in the junk, because they added that stipulation that Christian could win it basically however. I think that feud with Randy really showed that Christian could be a main eventer.
Mm-hmm.
And just the character work that he put on, even like as that slimy, whiny heel. I mean, their no holds barred match at SummerSlam, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I just watched
You know
that
what I mean?
not long ago.
No, yeah. I mean, like, and don't get me wrong, it was cool to see Randy win the World Heavyweight title again, but I didn't want to see it right away. It's like same thing. Should have gave Christian just a longer world title run and like have it be taken seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really all I have to say. I mean, because Christian's always been a solid mid-carder. He's been the Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion. He's a part of one of the greatest matches of all time at TLC WrestleMania X7. ECW champion was the last ECW champion before they got rid of the brand. I really think what it could have been the icing on his career is if he had a respectable world title reign in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
But be that as it may, he's continued to rejuvenate himself in AEW, and he's been fantastic there.
Yep.
So finally, number 1, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. This is my hot take. Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, whatever you want to call him, is the greatest WWE superstar to never win a world title. That's my hot take. He was a part of the new generation with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and he was a solid wrestler, a solid character in that generation. He genuinely knew how to put on a good match. I mean, The Rock, when Scott died a couple years ago, The Rock wrote a paragraph of how he studied Scott's matches. And he came up to Scott before they had a match when he was like a rookie or super young in his career. And he basically said that he wanted to steal the show with him. And they did. They stole the show together at a live event. Scott Hall is a part of the first ever 5-star match in WWE history. Him and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 10, the ladder match. I mean, he was always great with the Intercontinental title. Jump shit to WCW, did a good job too. The tag titles that he's won. He's won tag titles, right? I thought he did.
Yeah, I want to say.
I feel like he did in WCW.
Yeah,
Nonetheless,
but yeah, yeah.
nonetheless, I mean, his Intercontinental title reigns were memorable. Just the bad guy character was awesome.
Mhm.
Who's to say that the bad guy couldn't have taken and ran with it with the world title?
Yeah.
So that those are my top 5 underrated wrestlers of all time.
Alrighty. This is not in order. No way. Not in order except for number one. Because number one, I'm staying by that until the day I die, bro, for sure. Five. I put William Regal. He could have been booked as like how Gunther is booked. Just that slimy European, he thinks he's better than everybody type of heel. And I believe Regal could have held the world heavyweight championship if they wanted to elevate him up to that next level and actually create him into a main Carter. There's no way he couldn't have. He could cut a great promo. You just didn't like him. Like you just did not like William Regal. He was meticulous in the ring, the way he wrestled, the old school British style. And I'm gonna stand by it. Regal should have had at least one world championship reign. He could have been a great heel for somebody to chase the belt. And yeah, man, I don't know. Every time I go back and I watch old episodes, I'm like, bro, he was so good. And he's even like you can tell he's great even as a manager. Like he just has the ability to for you to not like him. And there's only some people where that comes just naturally. Like, yeah. Number four, Bobby Roode. He he was in NXT, won the NXT championship. I don't care about that. If WWE did not see that he could carry a company after what he did in TNA for that run, I don't know why they did not bring him up to the main roster as a singles competitor. Because I believe he could have had some crazy bangers, some crazy feuds. The glorious Bobby Roode, like that character, it was it, bro. Like he had it. Like I don't know. I feel like they dropped the ball with him. He was one on NXT. He won the NXT championship, but it's like once he got up to the main roster, they just forgot he existed. So I don't know. I feel like Bobby Roode, man, he definitely could have done some great things. And it's sad that he's not even wrestling right now. I don't even know if he's under contract or not. I believe he still might be. I don't know though, but and yeah, I don't know, man. That's just a lost opportunity, bro. Number three, I also have Shelton Benjamin. Just for his pure athleticism, bro was a freak in the ring, bro. It was crazy, bro. Watching him is insane. Yeah, I think the reason what held him back was just his character work. He didn't really have character per se. He was just the athletic guy who just did crazy stuff. Almost kind of like Ricochet. That's a good way to explain it. Ricochet starting to get a little bit of character and stuff. Now he's doing the stuff with his fiance. But yeah, and bro, so my favorite Shelton Benjamin match, him and Shawn Michaels, that one Raw match they had, bro. They tore the house down, bro. Tore the house down. Yeah. So Shelton Benjamin. Next is Cesaro, aka Claudio Castagnoli. He could have been a world champion, in my opinion. And the thing is, I'm not really a fan of his like wrestling style or his necessarily his in-ring work, but I knew like there was a time in WWE, bro, where the fans were behind Cesaro, bro. He had a whole movement, bro. And the way he just captured the fans, bro, especially with the swings he does, bro, it was crazy. And they should have shot the rocket when it was getting hot, bro. I don't know. And even now in AEW, I mean, he's in the Blackpool Combat Club, but he's not necessarily a major player, so to say. He's just kind of there along with John Moxley and Brian Danielson and all them. Um, so I honestly doubt he'll ever get a world title run in AEW. I just feel like he has suffered the background player syndrome, kind of, where he's just like in a group or he's just a mid card guy. They don't really know what to do with him. They don't really trust him to give him the main championship. But I feel like he could have carried a world heavyweight championship in WWE for sure. Number one, I will stand by this until the day I die, bro. The day I die, the most underrated wrestler in WWE history is Dolph Ziggler, bro. Yes, he had one or two World Heavyweight Championship reigns, but they didn't mean anything. They did not treat them like World Heavyweight Championship reigns. He was not seen as the champion he should have been. I honestly wish when bro was trying to decide if he should leave WWE, I think it was like back in like 2016 or something like that. I wish he would have went to like New Japan and just put on bangers with like Okada and Ibushi and all them, bro. Because if you need a 5-star match, you can go to Dolph Ziggler and he can guarantee you a 5-star match. That's how good he is, bro. His super kick is, some people say it's arguably better than Shawn just because of how great he is in the ring, bro. And he's modeled himself after Shawn Michaels in a sense. Dolph Ziggler, he's just great, bro. His character was good. The AJ Lee stuff he did was great. WWE just never treated him like he should be the guy. In my eyes, he could have been the face of the company. Especially after after that Survivor Series, he was the last one. He had all that momentum behind him. They could have took him off with that. They didn't. I don't know. And now he just kind of became the guy that he's just the gatekeeper for the main roster. Oh, if you want to prove yourself, go fight Dolph Ziggler. Almost like The Miz in a sense, but at least The Miz got a WWE Championship run. Dolph Ziggler didn't even get that. But Dolph Ziggler, one of my favorite matches was him and Shinsuke at Backlash 2016. I think it was Shinsuke's match on the main roster, first match on the main roster, something like that. And boy, that was crazy. It was 2016 or 2017. It was insane, bro. It was insane. And his match with Kofi in the steel cage, I think it was Stomping Grounds. Bro, insane. Dolph Ziggler, he's just great, bro. I can't say anything else. I honestly wish he was not with WWE so that he could go to AEW, maybe tag with his brother Ryan Nemeth. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna stand by to the day I die. Dolph Ziggler is the most underrated wrestler in WWE history because he has the aura, he has the mic skills, bro. My favorite Dolph Ziggler segment when he was calling out Goldberg, and they ended up having the match, and Goldberg speared him like 3-4 times, and Dolph Ziggler just did not want to go down. He was on the ground. That's all you got, blah, blah, blah. And then Goldberg showed him a sign of respect, picked him up. But little did we know, nah. Goldberg was not letting him go out easy. So yeah, man, I don't know. That's my list. Not in order except for one. Yeah, man, most underrated wrestlers in history, in our opinions.
You said a handful of things I'd like to get my thoughts on regarding Cesaro, Claudio. I was definitely on the hype train at the time, like when Cesaro was just putting on banger after banger. However, not that Brock Lesnar was referring to Cesaro. I think he was just referring to like this generation. But you can put on a good match to the live long day, but if you don't have a solid character and can't connect with the crowd, then you're not going anywhere. And I kind of have to admit that about Cesaro. Like he had the in-ring ability and the strength, no doubt about it. I think Cesaro's best character work was with the Bar when him and Sheamus became a tag team.
Yeah,
I think that was his best character work.
Yeah.
But other than like when he was a face, I feel like he was just really just a good wrestler. Like that's just what his character was.
Yeah.
And regarding Dolph, I completely forgot about Dolph. So I mean, I think I'd have to agree with you. Probably Dolph. Yeah, I'd probably have to go with Dolph. I mean, I used to think Christian was super underrated, and he is in WWE, but I don't know. I guess if you want to compare apples and oranges of both of the world title reigns, Christian's is probably better. Like I think they probably still meant a little more than Dolph's did. The
Yeah,
only
bro.
thing I'd probably have to give Dolph over Christian is well, here's a good question for you. What's the best moment of Dolph's career? I'll give you three options. Cash in Money in the Bank, Raw after WrestleMania, the 3-1 comeback at Survivor Series, or the instant classic that him and Miz put on in No Mercy for the IC title when his career was on the line.
It's definitely the cash in, bro. For me,
Okay.
Because bro,
Yeah.
we everyone was behind him, bro. The whole arena was behind him. Everybody at home was behind him. If you did not want Dolph to cash in that Money in the Bank contract, you were mentally unstable. Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Completely forgot about Dolph. Yeah, I'd probably have to agree with you. I still stand by the fact that Scott Hall is the greatest wrestler to not win a world title,
Hmm.
but I think it goes without saying that Scott got better treatment in his day than Dolph did, despite Dolph probably won more championships.
Yeah.
It just always seemed like anytime Vince was bored, he's like, "Oh, very Dolph again. It's fun." Not to mention like how good of a seller Dolph was. Did you know in
Bro,
his SummerSlam match
I forgot
against
to say that, bro. Oh my God, bro. His selling is him, Brock, and Sean. I would say best three for sure.
yeah, Roman's pretty good too, honorable mention. But
Yeah.
did you know that in the SummerSlam match against Goldberg, it was literally just supposed to be spear jackhammer, the match is over, but Dolph threatened, he said, if I can't even get a little bit of offense in, I'm just gonna walk out.
Bro, because they didn't treat him, bro. Vince McMahon, I don't know what he had against Dolph Ziggler. I don't know if it was his size. I don't know if he was scared he would be too much like Shawn. I don't know, bro. But they just did not treat him like he was. They didn't treat him how good he was. Like I don't know, man. It's just
Honestly think it's because of how good of a seller Dolph was. I honestly believe with how delusional Vince became, he's like, he's such a good seller. I'm going to have him lose more matches for my entertainment. I honestly
probably
think that's
right,
what it
bro.
is.
Honestly, you're probably right.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, when he had that 3-1 comeback at Survivor Series, that was genuinely surprising. Like you really would have thought they would have went with John for that.
Yeah,
No,
for
they went
sure.
with
The fact that it
Dolph.
was Dolph, crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
And his work when he went back to NXT and won the title and he did the matches with Breaker, they were great, bro. Those were great, bro. Like, oh man. Oh man, bro.
It honestly seems like anytime he was gonna leave, they would give him like another mid-card title or tag title to like make him
Bro,
stay.
he said in the interview the reason he stayed was because of the money. Like they paid him a lot of money to do what he does, to just get the younger guys over. Like, I mean, you can't be mad, you know, but I don't know, man.
Well, we went off on a little bit of a tangent there, talking about some of these guys, but those are our underrated wrestlers of all time. Who are some of your underrated wrestlers of all time? Be sure to drop them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe. We greatly appreciate you guys. I'm CJ McClure. Thank God for wrestling.
Yes, sir. I'm Johnny King, man. Like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate the support, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank God for wrestling. Peace.